So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to take this mystery number sense routine. And just to remind you how this works, you click your mouse or press a button on the keypad and different clues appear so that the mystery number, each clue gets closer and closer and closer and narrows down possible solutions until you get to the last clue and there's only one possible answer at the end. All right, now I'm going to show you how to take this and put it in Desmos and how you can do it so that there's actually a button there that you can press or that kids can press so that they can see the clues come in one at a time. All right, so in order to get started, on my first slide, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to title this mystery number because that's what it is. So we're going to need a few different components. So I'm going to come over here to the left side, and first I'm going to put in a note because this is where all of the information is going to come in. But then what I'm also going to need is I'm also going to need to include a button because this button is going to make everything work the way that it's supposed to work. And I'm going to go ahead and label this button. It doesn't matter how you label it. I'm just going to call it button 1 because it's on slide 1. This is going to be the button that students press in order to get a new clue. So I'm going to say, press me to see a new clue. All right, now everything that we do is going to result around button 1. So this involves using the computation layer. So I'm actually not going to put anything in the note right here because I need to come in the back end and I need to tell the note what to say at specific times. So this is content that I'm putting in a note. So I'm going to say content, colon, and now a bunch of different things are going to happen. So I need to think about what is happening at certain times when that button is pressed. All right, so when, and I have to start everything with when, and I have to give the specification as to what's happening. So first thing that's going to happen is this slide is going to be seen before any button is pressed. So the button that we're talking about is button 1. So when button 1 dot press count equals 0, so this means basically when the button has been pressed 0 times, a quotation mark, and what do I want the note to say? So when button 1 dot press count equals 0, I'm going to say click the button to see clues to help you determine what the mystery number is. Each time you press the button, a new clue will appear. End quotation marks. Quotation marks are really important. And I'll come back to that when we're done putting in all of the different things that we need to put in. All right, so again, this means when the button is pressed 0 times, I'm basically giving you the directions. All right, now they're going to press the button. So when button 1 dot press count equals 1, so when the button is pressed 1 time, I'm going to see the first clue. The first clue is I am less than the square of 5, end quotation marks. Right? Then, and by then I mean when button 1 dot press count equals 2. So now when the button is pressed a second time, we have to be careful here. I don't want to just say the second clue because if all I do is give the second clue, the first clue is going to be gone. All right, so when button 1 dot press count equals 2, so again, the button is pressed a second time. First, I still need what was here. So I still need the first clue, which is I am less than the square of 5. But now I need to include the second clue with it. I am more than the cube root of 64, in quotation. So again, when the button is pressed a second time, I have the first clue and I have the second clue. And we're going to continue this on until all of the clues are there. So when button 1 dot press count equals 3, I'm going to start just copying and pasting because it's easier than typing. So I need to have the first 2 clues. Now I need the third clue, which is I am divisible by 4, end quotation. All right, when button 1 dot press count equals 4, so when the button is pressed for the 4th time, I need the first 3 statements plus the 4th clue, which is if I am increased by 1, then I am divisible by 3, end quotation. Now, when button 1 dot press count equals 5, I need all 4 of those original clues. Now I also need the last clue, which is I am greater than or equal to the absolute value of 10 minus 30. End quotation. That was my last clue. So now when you're putting in content, basically you're saying all of the things that need to be said in the note for certain occasions. Again, when the button has been pressed 0 times, I'm going to give directions. And if you notice, I have to have a quotation mark at the beginning of my statement and at the end of my statement. If I don't have that last quotation mark, I'm going to get all of these like little notifications that I've messed something up. And that's because I need a quotation before I go to the next thing that's going to happen. So when the button is pressed 1 time, here is my first clue. When my button is pressed a second time, here's my first clue and now the second clue. Same thing with third, fourth, and fifth clues. Now, if you notice, there's a little warning here. I still have to finish. So then I'm going to say otherwise, quotation, quotation. So button is pressed 0 times, direction. Button is pressed 1 time, 1 clue. Button is pressed twice, 2 clues. Button is pressed 3 times, 3 clues. Same thing for 4 times, same thing for 5 times. There's no other situation, so otherwise it's not going to say anything. So right now, if I preview this, click the button to see clues to help you determine what the mystery number is. Each time you press the button, a new clue will appear. Press me to see a new clue. I'm going to press it. There's the first clue. I'm going to press it. Here's the second clue. I'm going to press it. Third clue. Press it. Fourth clue. Press it. Fifth clue. Press it again. Oh no, it's gone. All right. So what I want to have happen is I'm going to preview it again. So this is how many times I have to press it for all my clues to appear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After the 5th clue, I don't need this button anymore. So I want to make it disappear. So I'm going to go over into this button. I'm going to go into the computation layer, and I want to hide it after the 5th clue. So hidden, colon, button 1, dot press count is greater than or equal to 5. So this means the button will be hidden, and the button we're talking about is button 1 when the button has been pressed more than or equal to 5 times. So let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's gone. Now, what I also want to appear though is I want for students, once they see the 5th clue, to type in their answer. All right, so now I'm going to include a math input, and that's down here at the end. If I preview this, if you notice, the space is there no matter what. But I don't want kids to actually put in their answer until they've seen all 5 clues. So that means I want this to be hidden. All right, now I want it to be hidden until that button has been pressed for a 5th time. So I'm going to say it's going to be hidden when button 1 dot press count is greater than 5. So let's see what happens. Sometimes I have to play around with this to make sure I did it right. Okay, it's still there. Hold on a second. Let's say hidden when button 1 dot press count is greater than or equal to 5. Oh, it's because it needs to be less than. Duh. So it's going to be hidden when the button 1 has been pressed less than or equal to 5 times, because less than 5 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I don't want the box to appear until after the 5th time. So now it's gone. Press it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It's not there. This is when I play around with stuff. How about when it's less than 5, not less than or equal to 5? Let's try it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, there it is. So as you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around with to finally get things right. And I do this all of the time. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want just the box to appear. With the last clue, I'm going to go back up to this note. And with the last clue, I actually want to say, type what you think the mystery number is in the box below. So I'm going to hit enter. I'm actually going to hit it twice so that a space appears. I'm going to say, type in what you have found the mystery number to be. Done. Preview. Now let's see. Click the button to see clues to help you determine what the mystery number is. Each time you press the button, a new clue will appear. All right, clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, clue 4, clue 5. I'm going to submit my answer. Perfect. All right, so now this is just one way that you can use buttons to do a mystery number for a number sense routine. Let's back up for a second. 5 is not the answer. I was just letting you see what it would look like. But yeah, so if you were to do that for a mystery number, once you go in here and you make that slide, if you hit publish, then it becomes a live activity that you can assign to your students. So student preview, and always preview it from here just to make sure it looks right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can type in my answer. Great. I hope that this helps as you go through and find ways that work for you to make your number sense routines. If you have any questions about this or about any other ways you can edit activities or create stuff like this in Desmos, please contact me at any time. My contact information is krbookbinder@henrico.k12.va.us.